Hi everybody, it's Rhiannon here, and I'm gonna film a quick video about a product that I'm going to start taking that you may or may not heard of, called a couple different names. One of the names for it is Ormus, one of the names for it is Monatumic Gold. I've been researching the product for several months, and I finally just went ahead and took the plunge and ordered some off eBay. So if this is your first time hearing about it and you research it, you're going to see a lot of people on there that do kind of updates. And so that's what I decided to do since I just received mine today. I wanted to film a before video, and then I'm going to keep you guys with me on my journey, but I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it first of all. So if you guys follow my Instagram, you might have seen a video of when it came like this, and it comes in a tin foil. The tin foil works as a mini Faraday cage, and that just keeps any EMF, electromagnetic frequency, off of the product. So here's the product. You can see that it's called Monatumic Gold. Some people call it Mana, which is the name for it in the Bible. Some people call it Ormus. I haven't opened it yet. I've got it sitting here with a nice piece of smoky quartz to transmute any energies that it might be picking up from my phone and my camera. So I'm just going to read you guys a little bit of what it is. It's kind of hard to summarize, and then also, since I haven't taken it yet, I don't have any personal experience with it, but it says, Ormus is a concentrated blend of monatomic minerals that boost your health and can even boost your level of consciousness. So what is Ormus? Have you ever heard of something kind of crazy sounding at first, but as you explored it further, it began to make perfect sense? And that is so true for me, because I stumbled across this about probably 4 or 5 months ago, right after the big solar eclipse. And I've just been looking for ways to take my consciousness to the next level. And for me, I read about it and it just instantly resonated with me. Yes, it sounds crazy AF, and when you guys do your own research, you'll realize it does sound crazy, but my inner self knew that it was true and that I needed to pursue it. Okay. So eventually I want to start making my own, but I wanted to try it first just to see, because it's going to take a lot of equipment and stuff to start making it. But okay, so it says, this is a person talking about their experience. It says, it happened to me when I began practicing hot yoga. Initially, this sounds like the last man standing event for exhibitionists, but eventually most recognized the multitude of health benefits. For me, hot yoga, no, I hated it. I believe that it's good, and I believe it's healthy, and I believe I could use it, but I just honestly want to murder somebody. I'm just going to skip that part. So it says, don't misunderstand something you don't understand. So just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that you should just turn it down. But I will say that depending on where you're at on your journey, this may or may not resonate with you. That doesn't mean that it never will. It just means that right now it might not. Okay. So, just trying to get to the nitty-gritty of it. It says this person is constantly on the search for the type of practice, food, or supplement that can bring the biggest beneficial impact to people's health. Things like meditation, yoga, consciously grown whole food, and spring water. Which I'm going to drink right now, because I'm going to take my first serving of this with you guys. This person says, for years I kept hearing about something called Ormus, or monatomic elements, also known as mana, or white powdered gold. I had heard that it was ingested by the well-initiated of the ancient Egypt and the mystery Essenes, who most likely wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls and were keepers of the highly advanced wisdom. And I was curious about Ormus, but never took the time to fully investigate it. Skipping down. So what is Ormus? Ormus is a solution of monatomic or M-state minerals suspended in liquid. These monatomic elements are essentially nature's building blocks. Don't look for them on a typical atomic chart, however. They exist in very subtle yet more powerful form of matter. Normally, the atoms of minerals are bound together, but monatomic minerals are collections of unbound atoms. A traditionally trained scientist may believe this is impossible. This is why the alchemy gets involved. But many Russian, German, and as well as the more radical scientists acknowledge it to be an elevated and more encompassing scientific view. Think of these elements as the physical bridge that connects consciousness with organic life. The earth produces them naturally using its transforming process of fire, water, and earth. So it's an alchemical process. Earth's natural alchemy. Fire turns trees to ash. Rain pouring through the ash becomes a highly alkaline liquid called potash, which chemically and energetically shocks the elements in the earth's soil into monatomic elements. The traditional method of making potash is to soak plant ash in a pot of water. Hence the name. It turns out that ocean water is abundant with potash as well. This gets into how Ormus is made, which I'm not going to get into. Some of the magic that makes this Ormus unique, blah, 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 blah. Benefits of Ormus. Ormus increases the conductivity of your body's electrical and energetic systems. Ormus producers say that the highly charged atoms of Ormus are excellent for the immune system, helping defend your cells against foreign invaders like parasites, bacteria, and virus, which it is flu season. I still am a little congested from a sinus infection, but I'm literally doing anything I can to prevent myself from getting that flu. It may also be of interest if you've chosen the red pill, if you get like the Matrix, right? And you're willing to go down the rabbit hole, that Ormus may also be the best defense against biowarfare agents that cause things like Morgellons. So this is going to get more into the conspiracies, but depending on where you are in your awakening journey, we're constantly being subjected to things like EMF frequencies and all different kinds of sound weapons that they can use for mind control. And then this is supposed to be able to fight those type of things. So Morgellons disease and synthetic agents that are hijacking our bodies, believed to be introduced through things like chemtrails, as well as vaccines, which I don't take, but I can't help the chemtrails, right? My first experience with Ormus, this person says they offered me, he was offered some, took a teaspoon in a glass of water, which was how much was recommended, and they felt it immediately. So I'm going to take my first serving. So so that we don't go too far over on the video, I'm just going to kind of skip some of this, but it says, it doesn't stimulate the nervous system, though. It's more like a powerful recharge one feels during a fully satisfying vacation. I'm told some people don't necessarily feel anything, but that doesn't mean it's not working. Ormus works on the most subtle of subatomic layer of our body, so our subtle energy body, helping us become more conductive to the sources of information flowing through our body and mind. Light and superluminal light, known as prana, or life force energy, or ki, they're all part of those energies. Assuming you understand that everything is energy and vibrating at specific frequencies, at its most zoomed in level, you'll understand that Ormus is helping our cells vibrate at their optimal level of resonance. So in effect, it doesn't matter if you feel anything. What really matters is what's happening on the level of your DNA and your cells that make up your body. So you guys can do your own research. So I received my first bottle today. I'm going to go ahead and open it. It's important that after you use it, that you store it in the container that it comes in, which this is a static, some kind of anti-static bag. So I'm going to store it back in this bag as it recommends. And then I'm also going to store it back in the tin foil, again, to prevent the Ormus from absorbing any EMF frequencies from Wi-Fi in the home or cell phones or anything like that. If you find a good maker that makes the Ormus, you want to make sure they're making it with crystal grids and all those type of things. You'll learn all this as you look into it. So I've just opened it. They do sell it in powder form, but I've decided to try the liquid form. It should come in a UV protectant bottle, which this is. So I'm just going to read you here the bag, which says suggested use: half to whole teaspoon daily, added to a glass of water or by swishing around in the mouth. Give the Ormus some time to be absorbed for the best results. One can increase or decrease the suggested amount as intuition sees fit. Protect the Ormus from UV radiation, electromagnetic fields, TVs, cell phones, microwaves, fluorescent lights, power strips, etc. by keeping it in the anti-static bag that's provided, and then, like I said, wrapping it back up in the tinfoil, and then keeping it in a high energy room. So I'm going to keep it here in my crystal cave. So I had accidentally grabbed a half tablespoon. So I'm going to mix it with some spring water. So I'm just going to do like half of this, but it says shake well. You also don't want to use any metal when you're taking it. So you wouldn't want to use a metal measuring instrument or like a metal cup. So I've got a glass cup here and a plastic measuring spoon, because metal can interact with the chemical structure of the Ormus. So it says to shake it well. So I'm going to be taking this daily. So I'm just going to kind of keep you guys updated. Ooh, it's filled to the very tip top. So it's like a milky white substance. I'm just going to do, I'll show you guys how much is in there. Just that much, okay? Because this is my first dose. I don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to pour a little bit of the spring water in the cup first. Then I'm going to rinse the spoon with the water so I get every drop. Okay, so you can see here, I didn't fill it all the way up because I don't know how it's going to taste. So usually I think it's easier just to throw back a smaller amount. Oh, I'm so nervous. Cheers. I can hardly taste anything. Doesn't taste like anything really, guys. I'm gonna put the lid back on it. Put it back in the anti-static bag. I feel like a little bit of a warm sensation in my head, and I don't know if this is like a placebo effect because I'm so like hyped up about taking it, but I do feel a little warming sensation, perhaps even like here on my forehead. Maybe it's like interacting with my third eye. So I'm just gonna do that. Wrap it back up in the tin foil. You can keep it on a crystal grid. So there you have it. I thought that it was interesting. The person that I bought it from included 3 pages of what I thought was going to be instructions, but these are called Gems of Wisdom. They just came right in the bag that the Ormus came in, and I just want to read you guys a few of these because I really feel like this speaks to the type of person that made the Ormus. So you really want to make sure you're getting it from somebody who is in alignment with your belief systems. So for instance, number 1, compassion is not an expression of ordinary love, tainted by the attachment to emotion. It is the energy of loving kindness that comes about as one's mind awakens to the recognition that life we deemed as normal is impermanent, and the lack of our recognition of its true nature is the cause of suffering. But there's literally 108 of these little tidbits of wisdom, which I'm gonna read them all one by one, but I just think it's so cool. Number 38, a family without the guidance of its leadership is like a ship without a captain. Number 44, a true leader must never swerve from his commitment of caring for his people. He who serves his people will enjoy their endorsement and fidelity. So it's just all these random, it reminds me, if anybody is familiar with like the Dr. Bronner's soaps, if you've ever purchased any of those, the whole bottle is just covered with all these little nuggets of wisdom. So that's what I have for you guys today. Stay tuned. I'm going to be taking this every day and looking forward to reaping some higher consciousness benefits from it, but continued warming in my head. Maybe depending on how this goes in the next 15, 20, 30 minutes, I might be making an update to this tonight, but stay tuned. See you later, guys.